Okay, let's dive into this. It's easy to think of the systems in our homes, like our plumbing, as being pretty much the same everywhere. You turn on the sink, water comes out. Simple as that. But the story hidden behind your walls and under your floors is actually way more specific and way more local than you'd imagine.
Turns out, a whole lot. We're going to use this one town as a perfect case study to uncover all these hidden forces that shape the infrastructure we rely on every single day, no matter where we live.
And this brings us to our first big point. Your home's plumbing isn't just some generic off-the-shelf system. Nope, it is a direct physical reaction to the very specific world right outside your front door. And that is the absolute key right there. The age of your neighborhood, the kind of soil your house is built on, even how nasty your winters get, all of these things have a huge say in what's going on with your pipes. And we're going to see this play out perfectly by taking a look at Depew, New York.
Okay, so let's get into the specifics. Depew is kind of facing a perfect storm of factors that creates some really tough plumbing problems. It's this fascinating mix of history and the environment all crashing together. So what's so interesting here is how you have these three different things all layered on top of each other. First up, the winters are brutal. Depew is smack in the middle of what they call Erie County's freeze belt, where you get these long stretches of subzero weather. That leads directly to frozen, bursting pipes. Then you've got aging homes. A huge chunk of Depew was built during the post-war boom, like the 40s to the 60s, and they used materials that, well, are pretty much at the end of their rope today. And the third piece of the puzzle is the local geology. It's close to Cayuga Creek, which means high water table, so some pumps get totally overworked. Plus, hard water from wells causes all this mineral buildup. It's a real triple threat. And this right here is the heart of that aging homes problem. The galvanized steel and clay pipes they used back in the day are frankly just failing now. After decades of rust and tree roots finding their way in, these systems are just constantly getting clogged, backing up, and springing leaks.
So, how do you fight back against a winter that brutal? Well, with local know-how. And it really comes down to this one magic number, 42 inches. That is the depth that water supply lines legally have to be buried in Western New York. You go any shallower and you're just asking for a frozen pike. It's a perfect example of a rule that is a direct answer to a local problem. So, we've seen the causes, the deep freeze, the old pipes, the high water table. Now let's look at what that actually means for the people living in these homes. What are the real-world consequences? Yeah, these are pretty much the recurring nightmares for anyone who owns a home there. Those harsh winters, you get frozen and burst pipes. The old clay sewer lines are like an open invitation for tree roots, which cause some nasty backups. The hard water minerals literally build up and just wreck water heaters, and that high water table means sump pumps are running constantly till they just burn out. See? Every single problem is a direct symptom of Depew's unique environment.
If you've ever wondered why older homes sometimes have terrible water pressure, think of it like this. It's basically hardening of the arteries for your house. On the left, you see the old galvanized steel pipes. Over decades, they rust and corrode from the inside out, literally choking off the water flow. Now compare that to modern stuff like PEX or copper on the right, which are so much more durable and can handle corrosion and freezing way, way better. And it's a very similar story when you look at sewer lines. I mean, tree roots are smart. They're naturally going to seek out the moisture and nutrients inside a pipe. The old clay pipes on the left are brittle and have tons of joints, which are basically little open doors for roots. Once they're in, they just create this dense mat and boom, total blockage. Modern PVC pipes, on the other hand, are way more flexible and have fewer seams, making them much tougher for roots to break into. So here's the thing. If the problems are this specific, this hyper-local, then it makes sense that the solutions have to be too. This isn't just about having the right tool for the job, it's about having the right local knowledge. And this quote just hits the nail on the head. Knowing that one neighborhood has old clay sewers or that another one has super hard water lets a specialist figure out the problem almost instantly instead of just guessing. That local context, it's probably the most important tool they have. The actual process of getting service is meant to be really straightforward. You make a call, a plumber is sent out, they figure out the issue, but here's the crucial step. They get your approval on the price and the plan before a single bit of work starts. That kind of transparency is huge for cutting down on stress. Then, it's just about getting the repair done and making sure it's done right.
And listen, professional work is about so much more than just plugging a leak. It's about being able to navigate this whole complex web of regulations. We're talking state codes, county codes, permit requirements, all these specific rules for things like backflow prevention. This isn't just red tape. It's all there to make sure the work done in your home isn't just effective, but that it's fundamentally safe and, legal.
Okay, so let's zoom back out. We've gone super deep into the pipes of this one specific town. But the big idea here, the main takeaway, is totally universal.
Right. The challenges in Depew, the cold, the soil, the age of the houses, they're all just a powerful reminder that our homes are in this constant conversation with their surroundings. The materials that were used, the rules that were followed, the problems that pop up, they're all part of a secret story written by these local forces.
And that's what it all comes down to. Whether you live in a desert, a floodplain, a brand new subdivision, or an old city block, there are these invisible factors shaping the building all around you. The story of Depew's plumbing is really just an invitation to ask yourself, what's the hidden story of my home?